family.
I'm Suliasi and I'm 14.
I'm Max and I'm 15.
I'm Sapphire and I'm 6.
I'm Linda Brown and I'm the mother of the home.
She's Fitu and she's 4. And I'm David. I'm the father and husband.
My name is Apalima Wasini Soko Betty Brown, and they just call me Soko. I'm 11 years old. One of the things I like to do is sing.
There is unity all around. When there's love at home, there is joy in every sound. When there's love at home, peace and plenty here above.
This is rough on campus.
But this is the boys' bedroom, and the reason being is, and I'll show you here momentarily, is that there was an addition made, and it's the easiest room for Max to get into.
Even though I have to carry Max all the time and help him in the bathroom, help him outside of the house, it's nice to have him always next to me, and I'm always with him, like we're in the same grade.
I usually sometimes have to help him with his homework, but I don't really mind because he helps me understand.
With Max, he's my oldest. I had Max in 1996. I had him at 25 and a half weeks. Since then, he was diagnosed when he was 3. He has spastic cerebral palsy, and that's what we're dealing with him right now. And since we moved in this home, it's hard for him to get around. When we're in the kitchen, when Max is in here,
How old you were?
we pretty much all have to move to the side just for Max to get around. And in the morning, my husband has to carry him on his back just to take him to use the bathroom and help him in there. But he can't roll his chair in there underneath the sink, so he would brush his teeth over here in the kitchen.
So these are the back stairs, and we never bring Max on these. We tried to never bring him on them. They're too narrow, and it's really hard to pull his chair up with this, and so we don't really use that. This house has been through a lot of hands and a lot of family. We inherited this, but if you look here, I've tried to seal this off just with the foam stuff, because I noticed that as winter comes on, we're always getting little mice that try to come in and are running around. And so I tried to seal that off the best that I can. And after a few weeks of fighting them, I usually win the war with the mice. But these are the stairs that Max has only come downstairs once, and so of all of the years we've lived here, he's only spends time upstairs, and he's never come down here, except for one time during Grandma's funeral. But this is the basement, and as you can see, this is where the washing machine drains, and it's pretty disgusting really, but we make do with what we can. And this is our washroom. And my second son, Suliasi, was diagnosed with asthma, exercise-induced asthma, and one of the things they say that he's very allergic to is mold. And so we do have mold conditions in the house, and I've been able to afford to fix it to where it's a little bit better, but the electrical in this house is really not very good. This box sticks out too far. I'm always concerned that the kids might hit their heads on this. You see, we've been able to make the bathroom so Max can roll into it. However, when he comes out here to turn his wheelchair, his feet always hit down here, and you can see the wall is all scratched up from his feet and his shoes and his chair, because it's a really tight turn that he needs to make right there. And so I usually carry him into the bathroom, and like I said, we've spent the money to to fix this, at least to where he can roll into the shower. I can pick him up and then he sits right here. This is where Max sits to be able to shower. This is our, if you could call it, master bedroom. This is Linda and my room. And these closets are too small to be able to fit everything, so we have this to put our clothes on, and then to hang our clothes up, and you can see our family pictures there, and then our clothes get stacked right there for now, and those are the two babies' drawers. So my dream would be for my wife to be able to have a place to put her clothes in. And I don't mind having mine on a shelf, but if I could have my wife's in a nice place, it would be cool. It would be special.
I was making my own birthday cake, and I was looking for the frosting in the cupboard, and I saw something move out of the corner of my eye, and I looked, and there was a raccoon staring at me.
And I'll show you where that raccoon was at. As if you can see up there, you can see right outside to where the roof doesn't meet the house. And in this kind of attic area right here is where the raccoon was living, and he poked his head right here, right through here, and was waving at my daughter. But we actually caught the raccoon and we took it and released it up in the hills near the mountains.
My grandmother, who used to live here, but she passed away, and then my grandma would come up no matter what time it was, and then she would make hot cereal like every morning when us kids went to school. But yeah. My friend, and let's help each other to reach the end. We must be strong, for the road is long to eternity. When it was just my two.
I wanted to just show you, because of this is part of the addition that was done, and you take this off, you can see that there's some damage to the wall. It looks like it's termites, but they're eating away the wall, and this is just a little piece of cardboard that we put there, and so as you can tell, that's not a very healthy condition, and it continues along the bottom of the wall and some other patches there, and up in here that I've... One of the things that Suliasi's doctor told us to do is to try to get rid of this, and this is we just put this in last year. It's an air conditioner, a swamp cooler, but she said that with Suliasi's breathing, we should replace this because it brings in a lot of pollen and allergens, and so that's been something that we've always been concerned about.
I play on the sophomore football team and on the varsity football team of Highland High, and I play middle linebacker and center, and I'd like to go to college at the University of Utah.
Anything about sports, Max loves to watch football, basketball, and he knows a lot about those plays that they do on TV. So,
what I do with the football team, I'm just sort of like their motivation when they're feeling down or when they need to like have a moment of like just having fun as a team and just trying to pick everyone up.
It'd be really nice to have my own room, but still to share with Max. Have a room to ourselves. Have to not bring up mattresses every day up into the living room, and also for privacy. I've learned to not think of myself all the time and to think about others. And Max has, after helping Max so much, it's helped me and it's made me stronger. And yeah.
Not for me, but for Max. It really hurts me to see him that he's not able to go around the house a lot because there's little space for him. And I think it would be cool to see him rolling around the house or going into the kitchen and asking my parents questions and all. But yeah.
I sleep on this bed at Sully helps me take out the garbage, and Max helps me read when I have to.
And what's your name?
Fitu,
Do you know what Fitu means? What does Fitu mean?
star.
Star? Do you want stars in your room? Yeah? Pink? With stars all over?
What I like to do in this house is be able to move around freely without asking for much help. The sink so that it's more accessible so that I can reach it when I need to, and just be able to get into the bathroom. And
But for Max, he still needs that help. And one of these days we look at him and say, wow, you've progressed, you know, from the time that he was born all the way to now. He has accomplished a lot as far as his physical needs, and we hope that it'll continue to where he can be able to be more independent and doing everything on his own. And that's what all mothers wish is for their son, to be independent, and especially for Max.
There's not a day, probably 3 to 4 times a week, she's baking cookies or different things and taking it to neighbors or friends and people within our church community. I myself, I love working with the youth, and I'm registered with the Boy Scouts of America, and I'm a trained leader there. And so I'm able to go out with the Scouts and provide service. One of our most recent things that we did is we, at a school that was run down, is closed and run down, we went out and beautified the grounds. We picked up the garbage and we took out all the weeds in one section and planted some flowers and some plants there. At the end of the month, there's not enough to fix the walls. There's not enough to fix Max's wheelchair. And there's not enough to make a little room for this guy. He asked me the other day, Dad, when I turn 12, could I have a room? Yeah. I wanted him to have a room, but we have to make it a good, safe place for him first. And I think that's it. That's our house. It's kind of uncomfortable to show it to everybody, but that's the way we live, and we're just grateful to have a roof over our head.